Hey everybody, this is Brett. Paul over here. We're going to do a little series on the recording process of some of these songs that I've been putting out and we've been putting out, recording and working on. So I'm going to talk about a little bit of behind the scenes stuff and what goes into it, what's the thought process and the mechanics of it. So we're going to do a song that is called "Fell in the Middle." It's new. It's a song of mine, and we've done it here at Paul's place, 8 days a week studio, and we just recorded this, I guess, about a month ago. So we're gonna kind of go through it and talk about what was going on. Like, with just talking generally about songs and songwriting. Obviously, with any recording you're going to make, the most important thing, first of all, is the song itself. Song is king. Everything kind of goes to support that, and the second thing is usually the ingredients. It's usually who do you have available? Who's on the gig? You know. So in this case, we had Mike Van Wyk and Ronnie Samosic and Paul and I, and we had a great violinist and all our usual elements. So that was going to play into this particular tune, and lastly, we're just kind of like looking as far as the people involved, or the songwriter. You kind of want the recording to be a little bit of maybe an extension of the person or the people involved. When you're younger, you're kind of bouncing around all over the place as far as you're into everything. There's so many things you're into, and you're just putting it in songs. And as you get older, there's more of a process of elimination, taking things out, making it simpler, and really kind of getting down to the core of like who you are, whether it be as a songwriter or a recording engineer, producer, or whatever, and you're kind of honing in on that. And I think in the end, that's like the ultimate goal, is to kind of own a sound, more or less. It's kind of like if you can kind of get down to your essence. So like basically what's coming out of the speakers is kind of like a extension of your personality, so to speak. So that's what we're kind of going for. Like me personally, I'm really into, great songwriting, traditional music, like old school traditional music with real instruments. And I'm also, that's part of my personality, and also kind of, also I like things to be loose. I don't want everything to be, just perfect and spit shined. I'd much rather have, a piece of handmade furniture with all its imperfections than having some sort of tooled thing. That's just me personally. So I'm always going for that. So then Paul and I work together. When we work together, typically we both do things on our own, where we're kind of acting as engineer and producer on different projects. But when we're working together, which we've done for over 30 years by now, 30 some years. So we're working more on the level of he's more on the capturing the engineering, capturing the actual soundscape and the music and everything like that, and I'm working more on the producer role of the instrumentation and the performances. So basically you're starting with a song, you want to get a performance and you want to get a recording, you want them all to work together. So at the end of the day, you're looking at something that resonates, and you can physically feel it when it does. When it comes off the speakers, you can physically feel it. If you're not physically feeling it, there's something wrong, and you're gonna have to go back to the drawing board. But anyway, "Fell in the Middle." Let's play a little of the beginning, just the whole thing. So this one we're kind of starting out acoustic guitar, mandolin, and the violin comes in second cycle. So harmony violin comes in. So you got a real Celtic kind of sounding thing. And a lot of this kind of stuff, when we're doing it, like we come in here, there's no charts, there's no plan. We didn't know it was going to go like that. We kind of, I would come in with the tune and I had the words and music, and a little bit of a demo. But then, you know, it's just kind of like, hey, wouldn't it be cool? Wouldn't it be cool? Wouldn't it be cool? And everybody just kind of bouncing things off each other. You know, so this thing, we kind of had this sort of Celtic feeling melody. So, you know, we'd have like the mandolin, like if you play, it's like solo up the violins in the mandolin.
At the top?
Yeah, yeah. Like second cycle there, you can kind of hear them all together. Yeah.
No, I mean, we hadn't done a ton of recording with Nike where it was, hey, let's just involve you right from the very beginning. It's a lot of, hey, we should put a violin on this, or
Right on.
hey, Nike, we can use a string section in the bridge or something. And but he was here like just during the day, and it was really cool to kind of start like that, because then the tone of where you're starting is kind of more centered for the song,
Right
as
on.
opposed to just throwing something on top.
Right. Yeah. I mean, because like, well, that's good to add, because normally when we had Nike on a session, we'd be bringing him in. You know, we'd make the record, and we'd say, "Oh, we'll leave it. It'd be cool to have a violin here," you know, and we'd bring him in as an overdub, you know, instead of involving him from the beginning of the process, which was really, really great to have him. You know what I mean? Have him in there like right from the beginning. It gives it a whole different tone.
Yeah, in the room, if he's actually there when you're playing a mando, you're going to play the mando different off of him, and he's
Yeah.
going to play off of you, as opposed to here's the track we played and just play on that.
Right. Instead
It's,
of
you know,
yeah. So it's like the clubhouse feel. You know, like the more guys you have in the room at once, and that informs, and everybody's personality informs things too. You know, so there's like, it's just a different feeling, and so that was different for this one as opposed to other ones we've done. So yeah, if you like kind of pop up to the first verse there, you can kind of let that roll for a little bit.
Diamond ring on a drywall screw when you fell in the middle of a dream come true. A stiff middle finger for the chosen few when you fell in the middle of it all. The look of bewilderment on your face when you fell in the middle of a winning race. Good intentions can't erase that you fell in the middle of it all. Darling, 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 can't you see? You shouldn't be so easy to please. So put your hand in mine. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. You'll see the castle sinking.
Yeah, man. Yeah, sounds great. You know, like so like real simple things like a couple guitars, organ, a little bit of like a B section. I mean, back half of the chorus harmony, which kind of sounds like the Jayhawks to me. You know, that kind of vibe, and that's it. Yeah, I mean, it's like usually like one thing you try to do as a song develops, you want it to kind of go somewhere. You want it to go on a journey, you know, and so the arrangement will fill out and then clear out and move on. Anything?
no, that's there's a lot of things that we kind of gravitate to over the years that have been always successful. You know, you can count on a Hammond organ. You know,
Sure, yeah.
You can count on acoustic guitars and a Telecaster and that kind of stuff. But this particular track, I thought, was just had a couple of undiscovered things, only because the bridge was really going to be like this Beatley string thing. So, I mean, I was actually out of the room for most of that. Honestly, I think that was just you and Nike.
Yeah.
You kind of built, I came back and you had like a whole string arrangement. But that, you know, again, having the extra guy in there, kind of the clutch guy, just made the session really, really cool. And again, it's a session.
Right, yeah. It was,
I mean,
it was
this
an
is not
afternoon.
like over weeks. This
No,
is like,
that was an afternoon. It's a day.
Yeah.
You know, So yeah, I mean, like after where we stopped, there would be another verse, and then another chorus, and then maybe go to that bridge since you were talking about that. Yeah.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. You'll see. I say that I know where you are. Take your time, but I'll never be very far away.
Yeah, really,
Yeah,
really
man,
cool.
that's
Really
cool. Yeah, yeah. We do a lot of that. We like stack him up a bunch of times, make it sound like a little string orchestra, more or less. He, to me, like that sounds like the REM Automatic for the People record to me. That's where I get what I get out of that. That would, was by accident. We did not talk about that, but that's kind of like that REM stuff that was like John Paul Jones was arranging for those guys back in the late '80s. That kind of vibe. Sometimes I think we do. Like sometimes you think you do things on these tracks that you don't do.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh man, there's Mellotron in there. And I'm like, no, there's not.
No, actually, no. That was
There's just like the organ and the string arrangement.
Yeah.
We take the song. Usually, you might take a song like that and break it down, then bring it back up. Would be the stock thing to do. Done that many times in many songs, but this one we kind of break down, and then that's just kind of end. Like it kind of sort of does its last verse, and then just kind of winds down, which worked in this case. Just kind of fit with the, the kind of like melancholy feeling of the tune. Yeah.
The sun is rising cautiously as you stand in the middle of what used to be. You feel tired, but you feel free, though you fell in the middle of it all. Though you fell in the middle of it all. Though you fell in the middle of it all.
There you go.
nice.
Yeah, man. So, that's a little bit of a walk down, talk about kind of the process of how we do it, and what you're looking for. Just kind of looking for the song and the performance, and ingredients, what you can use. Like we were saying, having Nike there from the beginning kind of informed this in a different way than his role usually would be. Like actually having a violinist on the basic tracking session, makes a difference. And so it's all kind of in the way you set it up and kind of the feeling in the room, and of course the song most of all, and then the recording. A lot of all the overdubs were done with one microphone.
Yeah, just it doesn't take much.
Yeah.
That was really fun.
Yeah, it's fun day. All right,
Yeah.
well that's that one. We'll do another one soon.
Sounds good. Nice.